I think they're going to win it all. They're just playing so well right now. They have momentum, they have moxie, they have confidence, and most of all, they have trust. Tom Brady trusts his guys, even the young guys, and they trust him.
Buccaneers, go Bucs!
All right, welcome to round 2 of our Spanish Pirates Bucket Up podcast. I'm Tom Kirkland in Madrid. Shades are superstitious. Don't need them. It's dark out. I'm going to throw them away, but, Jaime, we're 1-0 with the shades. And I'm joined, I mentioned...
Don't fix what's not broken, isn't it?
No. But it is dark with those. The heart and soul of this scurvy vessel. My good friend Jaime Centenera, native Spaniard, ginormous Bucs fan, and long-suffering no more, mi amigo.
No more for now. Hello, everybody. Nice to be here. Nice, Tom. And here we go. One more day. And we have to talk about last week's NFC Championship game against the Green Bay Packers, a game that looked very, very difficult on paper. We called it, though. We called the Bucs were going to win it.
We did. We both predicted it.
We came out in the winning side of it.
Yeah, but I don't want to take away this moment. The Packers are right here, and they're in our rearview mirror. They're back there, but this is kind of an exhale week where you get to celebrate. There's no pressure this weekend, nothing building up. You can just wallow in. You've been a long suffering.
Yep.
And again, as I mentioned in the opener, I'm a bit of a vagabond. I jump ship. Still a Patriots fan, but I followed Brady, the journey and the destination. And
you were following the Messiah.
Obviously,
you're just a worshiper. Yeah.
It's big. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, there you go.
You're a worshiper. That's what I'm saying. You follow the chosen one, right?
But still, I mean, you have had we work together. People may know this, but you've had us a little extra fire in your belly this week. Let's be honest.
I mean, like you said, I'm just really taking it all in, and you have to savor it, because these things, you never know when it's going to happen again. It's been a lot of suffering for so many years. People were saying, like, I remember just being a Spanish guy and talking with you, with other colleagues especially from the States, and they say, "What, you're a Buccaneer fan?" Like,
yeah, I was.
But why?
I thought you were a very smart guy, but that
thing always didn't match. No, it's like, what's going on?
But still.
Well, yeah. Now, and you're right. Now, every time that the Super Bowl comes around, there's this week that they usually play the Pro Bowl. Who's more famous?
It's a media mess. Radio Row, and they got all these commitments, and it's good for both teams. They can focus. The Chiefs don't even come in till later. Next week, but we'll get into it. The Bucs are sleeping in their own bed. They're working out in their own facility. They're meeting in their own facility. They're practicing in their own place, and
they get their own locker room. Because they're also playing as a local team, as we know, because they go back and forth. Right. Last year was the AFC, was the local team. This year is the
home
NFC
team. Yeah, the home team. Yeah.
So yeah, they'll be at home, but they will play with the white uniforms. We just learned that today.
Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of hoping for red on top,
As red is my color.
And the pewter. Got to keep the pewter. But
they'll be playing, they're like perfect, almost playing with those whites. I'm not superstitious. I'm a little bit stitious, as Michael Scott would say. But hey, if they're going with it
on that one.
Yeah.
You went office on me.
Exactly.
All right. But that's one of the questions I want to. We're about to be joined by so lucky to have an esteemed journalist about to join us.
Yep.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat writer for the Tampa Bay Times, Joey Knight. Very busy man.
I mean, no wonder.
Precious time out to come aboard. Permission granted.
No doubt.
Yeah. Quickly, let's dip back to the agony that ended up being ecstasy. It was an ecstatic start and then some agony.
Let's go over that game.
What stood out? What made you happiest?
First half, you couldn't ask for anything better.
Right.
Offense was, first drive was amazing. Defense was playing pretty good, except for a few plays. But and definitely, what definitely stood out was that last drive before the half, of course. First, you start with the Sean Murphy bunting interception. It's pretty
Mike
good.
Patton. Thank you.
Yeah. And then, but before that play, we have that fourth down, right? We have the punt team
And
going
the
on
decision,
the field.
the decision was great.
They call
like-
a timeout, say, no, we go for it. And everyone said it late. I mean, they said it 1,000 times. No risk it, no biscuit. There it is, right?
Yeah.
You have to,
Yeah.
and those are the times where you go for it. You have a good play. There's a 4 yards to gain. There was a dump off for Fournette. He caught it that time, and there you go. First down, what do you do? Did you go 52 yards to Scotty Miller?
I mean, I can only imagine Brady's eyes when he gets up there and looks over.
They knew it. They knew it was a touchdown.
Well, but the flip side of that is how in the, I mean, I know everyone's been talking about how in the world are you not in some kind of prevent, cover the sidelines, two guys in the middle, let them do what they want over the middle, half's over. I mean, it's such a no-brainer that, the sound, the feel of it is like it's going to cost their DC his job. So as you know, I did the math. They scored 2 touchdowns in a minute 13 because they got that with 7 seconds and then a second to go in the first half. And then beginning of the second half, the huge hit from Whitehead took out Aaron Jones, ball on the ground.
Yeah. Recovered by Devin White, who's everywhere.
Yeah. And then one play, they didn't mess around.
No. I was texting you. I was telling you, look, we got to get 7 here. We got to get, go for the kill.
I think as I got it, they were in the end zone.
And it was pretty quick, right?
Yeah.
The strike to Cameron Brate.
I was starting to think, this could blow it out. And then, you always know the Packers are they're gonna move the ball. Great quarterback, and they have great skill players. I do think, before we get into the nitty gritty of the Brady issues, that the Buccaneers physically dominated that game. I think that really the intensity.
That's the key of the game. Definitely, we talked about it. That's
over 60
both
minutes.
sides of the ball, both lines. Obviously, the offensive line. I mean, we keep talking every week about those guys because they're really giving Tom a lot of time to throw. Yeah. He only got sacked once, I believe. And then they're opening holes. Not a lot. We run for.
They're running it just enough.
115 yards.
They're running it just enough.
And
Fournette's touchdown was crazy. But then
and no penalties.
And then the D line led by their bookends.
That was
Jack
the resurgence.
JPP.
That was the other key of the game, and we talked about it. We had the La Vita Loca coming back. Vita Vea
stole my line.
Well, I think I also came out. Anyway, it was a Spanish, so anyway, he came back and we called it. He was going to have a big impact.
He played a ton. Yeah.
Played 33 snaps. And he didn't get to Rodgers as a sack. He didn't get a sack, but he got some pressure. There was a play that he got this offensive lineman on his rear end. And he definitely opened up opportunities for those guys on the edges that they woke up from their slumber. 3 and 2 sacks for Barrett and JPP. They're hungry. They want more.
And we'll get to the goal line. Well, the defense at the end, but so my guy, great first half, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, in complete control.
Total GOAT. Greatest
of
all time.
He almost, and I told you this, I think the next day or that night when I was yelling, he almost went from the greatest of all time GOAT to the GOAT of the game.
Yeah. Could have been a total collapse, definitely. I mean, I was collapsing here in my couch.
Figure out, yes, we all were. My phone fortunately hit the side of the couch, or else it might hit the wall on the third one. First one, bad throw. Second one,
the first one was double coverage.
Yeah, it was just a bad.
The second
all the way
one,
around.
it just a bit high, right?
Yeah, and he's been high with a couple throws. He airmailed a couple, and it was a great contortion interception.
Yeah, so that's the one that Mike Evans just touches it and goes right through.
2 or 3 plays before, Mike had a drop that was a big play. Wasn't that in that series?
I don't remember that exactly, but that was huge because we were knocking at the door there. I mean, if Mike Evans gets that ball, I think he walks in as a touchdown, and then we could blow that open.
Yeah.
But instead,
And
it's
then-
an interception, and then they go up, and what happened? Nothing happened. That's
Nothing.
That's a good thing.
That's true. That
Defense
was
really stepped up.
another huge part of the game. The Bucs scored touchdowns and the Packers kicked field goals, and when normally what were they 80% touchdowns inside the red zone, which is a ridiculous number. His third pick, he feels pressure. He hums it up there. I think he was hoping Evans saw the pressure and would have reacted. Evans never saw the ball, which, I think there's maybe 10% blame on him or for at least not being in the play. But it was just for especially being his third straight pass.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to bring in the GOAT. I let the GOAT out to the.
And
I'm not bringing him back.
And to be fair, I have to say that just a little earlier, I was telling you we need to go to Mike Evans. We need to get him more involved
under any circumstances.
And then it was like, all right.
But as you said, the key was then again the Packers could, and then you take it down to the end of the game, and they had chance after chance. And I've seen the highlight many times. Rodgers on third down rolls out, and there's no way anybody catches him. I've seen the play many times from every angle. He at least would have been right down there at the goal line. He chooses to throw across his body into double coverage. Adams is on the ground.
I think he feels maybe Sue in his back, and we know those two, they don't get along very well.
Yeah.
So maybe,
maybe he thought there was somebody right on him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, in the moment. But I think he thought he had.
But yeah, I agree. Down. Either he gets to the end zone or maybe gets stopped at the 2, and then it's a fourth and goal at the 2, and that's a different scenario.
Yeah. And then he said he looked over the sidelines and he sees 5 big guys jogging out, and the kicker, they kicked 3. We were ecstatic because even if you don't get it on 4th down and they have a reasonable chance of scoring, still need the 2 to tie. But then the Buccaneers have it at their own 8 or whatever. And that's a different scenario than at your own, it's 40
a completely different
something.
offense. When you roll out there the offense and you start from the 25, you have a cushion, right? It's not the same. You're starting backed up at the 8. It's a different game. So thanks for that. But then the offense really did have to go out there and execute, right?
Yep.
We got some help also from their.
I don't think, they say they hadn't called that all game. That was it wasn't like they were handsy with each other.
I wasn't going to say the referees. I meant the defensive back. I mean, that was a clear hold.
Oh, yeah. It was a clear hold in the middle of the field on a huge play. You know.
Twice.
It wasn't PI.
I don't know how he does it. He pulls it, and then he catches it with the other hand and keeps pulling. And then to be fair, Johnson really sold it very well. He jumped and he sold it, and and then they had to also had another first down.
Yeah, I love the little end around, first down,
nice run,
victory formation, ball game.
Anyway, so that game is in the books.
Now comes the second date with the NFL's darling, Patrick Mahomes. We'll get into that. We're about to be joined by, again, the Tampa Bay Times Buccaneers beat reporter, Joey Knight.
And here it is.
Hey, guys.
Here it is.
Hello. Thank you so much for joining us, Joey.
Well, sorry to keep you guys up to the middle of the night.
No worries.
No worries at all.
He covers the Super Bowl-bound Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the Tampa Times, fourth-generation Floridian, St. Joseph's Hospital in Tampa. Nice job. Good start there. This is one of the things I love about your bio. It says in grade school, obviously you love sports, but you love creative writing, and you've turned that into a passion and a profession. And like me, we're a dad of 3, so we have battle scars. Welcome aboard the Spanish podcast, and thank you so much for taking some time to come over to Madrid with us.
Well, this is an honor. Thank you guys for having me. Thank you for tolerating my slam schedule these days.
Well, clearly, you like taking chances because you have come aboard this scurvy Spanish pirate vessel. It's our second one. A couple of guys who know what we're doing here just with podcasts, and we do this professionally. And hey, let's try it. Last week went well. They won, so we're kind of have to keep going, right?
I hear you. Momentum.
Yeah.
It's what the Bucs are playing with.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, picking at the right time. We were just talking about it. We just were reviewing a little bit the NFC Championship game. How did you leave that game? What do you thought of the Bucs?
Well, kind of an overplayed storyline going into the game was the weather, because everybody was kind of frightened that they facing especially frigid conditions in Green Bay. There was snow on the ground the Friday and Saturday night before the game, but lo and behold, at kickoff, there is no snow. It's about 30 degrees.
It was balmy.
It was balmy for Green Bay. An NFL guy, that's nothing to him when you consider the technology they have on the sideline these days.
Yeah.
With the space heaters and all that kind of stuff, and you get out on the field and you're moving around, the adrenaline's going. You don't feel it when you're on the field. So that turned out not to be a factor, and they've just been playing so well down the stretch. Obviously, you all know they've won their last 7.
That's a franchise record.
Franchise record.
Yep.
Won 8 in a row on the road. Also, obviously, a franchise record.
It's crazy.
And they kept telling us all along, it just takes time. These guys had no off season, no preseason, no conventional off season, no OTAs, bunch of new faces, including Tom Brady. So it just took time.
Berkeley Prep, wasn't it?
Berkeley Prep, I was there. Rick Stroud and my colleague were the first ones to spot him. I remember that morning.
Were you in the chopper?
Where you flying that?
I'll tell you where we were. I used to cover that high schools in the Bay Area, so I knew the lay of the land very well over there. And I knew there was a side street kind of that goes right up against the fence at Berkeley Prep. And we went down all the way to the end of that side street, a dead end, right to the fence of the school. And lo and behold, there was a tree trunk there, like somebody had cut off a tree. So I hopped up on the tree trunk and I got a bird's eye.
Wow.
I mean, it was legal. I mean, we're on public land. So we immediately called our one of our photographers who lived nearby, said, get over here. And fortunately, he was available and we had that. But, going back to my original point, they kept telling us it's just going to take time because a lot of new faces, no conventional offseason. We just need reps. Tom Brady needed time to get on the same page with Byron Leftwich. He needed time to develop a clairvoyance with his receivers and his skill guys.
That really is just so important, right? And so underrated, that relationship.
Absolutely.
I mean, even Tom Brady going to a neighbor's house.
Right. Absolutely. Yes.
He got into the wrong house.
He went to the wrong house. He thought he was going to Byron Leftwich's house, and he went to the wrong house.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you just have to get your bearings, and that takes time. And they've gotten their bearings here down the stretch.
No question. Yeah.
And so I went into that game, I'm not a fan. I have no dog in this fight, but just the way they've been playing, I thought they were going to win. And I think they're going to win. I think they're going to win it all. I just think they're playing that well on both sides. Everything is clicking. I mean, the kicker, for goodness sake. I mean, when's the last time, Tampa Bay has had consistency there? And you're right, Ryan.
When I say those names, I was telling Tom the other day, right? Those names, Roberto Aguayo, Kyle Catanzaro, Nick Falk, Matt Gay. I just have nightmares with those guys, okay?
A notorious list.
Ever since, Connor Bath got injured, right? Playing that fateful basketball charity game, he blew his Achilles, and we never had a kicker until right now. Suddenly, this guy comes in.
Joey, this guy last year he would bitch and moan. Matt Gay came in. I don't care who it is. This ain't gonna work. I
mean, again,
I can't believe he remembers all their names.
I've been scarred for life. I'm telling you, this is.
You're not the only one.
Finally, this guy comes in. Ryan Suckup. I mean, thank you so much. This guy has been money all year. Like, he's made kicking boring again. Like, he kicked that 46-yarder last week, and I was like, okay, he's gonna make it. I was pretty sure he was gonna make it, and sure enough, he went in, and amazing, really, really good pickup by Jason Light. Hopefully he doesn't draft any more kickers next year.
Well, hopefully he doesn't have to. And I don't think he's going to have to anytime soon. But again, that just goes back all 3 phases. They're just playing so well right now. They have momentum, they have moxie, they have confidence, and most of all, they have trust. Tom Brady trusts his guys, even the young guys, and they trust him. They know they've got a leader who's been there a million times before and can perform in those kind of championship situations. So the trust is mutual, and I think that's the biggest thing.
I want to ask you about the Brady thing. I mean, we all know where he's been and what he's done and what he brought and the culture change, but I just want to know, you've been around him, and if there's anything subtle that you see that surprises you or surprised you. And I know he's in the locker room. You know, everybody loves that part. Great teammate. But if there's any, I don't know if there's if you come away with something that you didn't expect to see from Tom Brady.
We haven't been able to see much because, you know, we're not there. We don't see the inner workings. But something I haven't seen that I think is really profound is the attention to detail that everybody talks about. The guy just leaves no stone unturned. They just say he is a stickler for detail, very meticulous. If he sees something that somebody's not doing on a route, they'll go back and refine it until it's right. Or if he sees something on film, he will, you know, take the extra time at practice and say, hey, they're going to do this. We've got to hit it like this, you know, just speaking hypothetically. But that's the common refrain that I hear from these guys is this guy is just a slave to detail. And I guess that's how you win 6 Super Bowls. So again, we don't get to see much of Tom Brady except his face on the Zoom call a couple times a week. But again, that's just kind of the common thing that everybody talks about. And the other thing, and I'd love to be just a fly on the wall inside the training center one day, is how he takes care of his body 24/7, what he puts into it. You know, the massages he must have to get, the way he has to stretch himself, and just the way he gets his 43-year-old body prepared. From everything I understand, that's a daily ritual in itself.
Yeah, it must be.
In terms of what he puts into it, how he exercises it, how he stretches it. So those two things, and again, that goes back to details as well, just, you know, taking care of himself. So details on the field and with his body, I think, is what really has struck me about the guy.
And they've bought in, right? And maybe there are some guys, you know, anybody comes in and they go, okay, there's a lot of belief. But at this point, I mean, everybody's buying in, including Brady.
It goes back to the trust thing. You know, it took Tom time to develop trust in his guys, including the young guys. Tyler Johnson and Scotty Miller, we've seen those guys make huge plays down the stretch here in the playoffs. He trusts them now. He knows that they're going to be in the right place. And again, it's reciprocated. Those guys have a leader who's been there a million times before. So they have confidence in every game they go into. And I think they're going to go into the Super Bowl with a great deal of confidence. I really think that's kind of been the real key down the stretch, is just the mutual trust these guys have in each other.
Yeah, I think I want to ask you, Joey, what your thoughts are, because, you know, last year with Jameis, you know, we had 2 Pro Bowl receivers, right? Mike Evans and Chris Godwin had an amazing year both. This year, their stats are not as good, but that just shows like how selfless players they are, right? No question. Because they just want to win, right? You can see Mike Evans, he's fired up. Maybe he gets 2-3 catches a game. He catches a touchdown, but he's fired up with all his guys, right? And so they all bought into this. Okay, I may not have all those touches, but we're going to win, and that's all that matters to these guys.
No question. Guys have sacrificed individual accolades for the sake of that ring, because we all know from day one when Tom Brady arrived, the goal was ring or bust.
Right.
And all these guys have bought into it, knowing it could cost them some individual recognition. I mean, Mike Evans still got his 1,000-yard season for the 7th.
Barely.
That's an NFL record.
Dramatically, yes.
Right. But think of guys like Rob Gronkowski, who is basically in these last couple of games been a blocker.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he had a big gain against Green Bay, but he has really sacrificed himself for max protection to protect Tom Brady. You know, him and Joe Haig, kind of the other glorified tight end. Yeah. Rob's been just a blocker these last.
And he's having a blast.
He's having a blast.
That's the
best attitude out there. People love him. But he knows what it takes. I mean, he's won a few Super Bowl rings himself, and he's gotten to this level, and he knows what it takes. So just that attitude, I'm sure that he conveys behind closed doors. Hey, guys, this is what it's going to take. It's going to take unselfishness. And the other guys who see a potential Hall of Famer, or definite Hall of Famer, have that selfless attitude. They buy into it too and say, hey, if Gronk can give himself up, I'll give myself up for the same.
To me, Rob Gronkowski, I mean, I love that guy. That guy just seems like, you know, just a normal guy with nothing to lose, you know?
Right. Yes. He's become one of my favorite guys to see on a Zoom. And it's a shame. It sucks that we don't have a conventional interview setting where we can see these guys face to face and get to know them a little better. But he's just great on the Zooms when we talk to him, and just like you said, he's having fun. He's loving life.
Yes. Yes. So good.
Jason Light said the other day, I love to go to work every day just to talk to Gronk because he just
Yeah,
makes
I
my
heard
day
that.
bright. He said he's dead serious when they start practicing, but in the locker room, he's just, he's had an equal impact as Tom Brady in the locker room.
Definitely another
That was great.
another type of leader right there in the
We
locker room.
got to let you go, but I just, because I know your time is precious, but I just wanted to get one thought about defending Mahomes. They've seen him once. They know the speed of Tyreek Hill. Hopefully they don't single up Carlton Davis on him in that experiment. But like you, I have a really good feeling the second time around and the way Bowles and his defense is playing. But you tell us why you're confident.
I think having Vita back in the center
Yes.
takes up a lot of space and gives those guys outside some chance to be more creative. And I think Devin White has become so good in zone coverage and just a dynamic force in that defense in general that he's going to be disruptive again, like he has throughout the playoffs. And I think those secondary guys, those young guys who will not be put in that same situation again, guarding Tyreek one-on-one. I think they're going to play well. I think they're going to play above their heads and they're going to play confidently. So
have you seen anything from the Chiefs defense that would really slow down? I mean, the Bucs did pretty well in that first game. They came back and made it a game.
Right. I haven't studied the Chiefs a lot in recent weeks, but you look at that first game and Tom Brady had 4 completions in the air of 20 or more yards, I believe, all in the second half. And Bruce Arians has said, hey, that second half is something to build on. We can click. We're not burning that film. We're going back and watching the Kansas City film and building on the good things. I think Ronald Jones broke off about a 35-yard run in the second half. So they had a good second half, an encouraging second half against the Chiefs the first time. And I think they're going to carry that into Super Bowl 55.
I hope so. I really hope so. And definitely, if we don't start it that hole that we started in the first game, that would help. Like you said, Vita back is huge. Like we commented, right. we talked about it for the previous game. He's going to be huge. And let's see,
Absolutely.
We'll be following from here. It's going to be like, what time is kickoff here in Spain?
It's 12:40 a.m. kickoff of the Super Bowl.
No kidding.
Yeah, but we do that all the time here. We're used to that.
I remember that Chicago game we watched. Was that a Monday night?
Well, the 6:30 kicks, the 8:30, the late night Sunday night games are 2:20 here. So
wow.
Yeah, we roll into work a little.
The worst game was that Chicago game. That was awful to watch.
That was brutal.
There's an old Far Eastern proverb: "Better you than me."
Thank you so much. Enjoy your time. I mean, for a Tampa Bay guy to have this thing rolling out and right in front of you, it's a dream come true if you can get around. I guess there's not that much traffic, but enjoy. We'll be following you in the Tampa Bay Times, and also your Twitter is at @TBTimes_Bulls. Still,
you got it. Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay, Joey Knight at @TBTimes_Bulls. Appreciate your time and enjoy this wonderful time in your career.
I will. Thanks, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Joey. I appreciate it.
Bye.
Right. See you guys.
That was pretty good. Yeah,
I
enjoyed it.
He was awesome. Yeah,
But,
and he feels the same way we do. Like this game's there for the taking.
I could have been talking to him like for hours, right?
He gave us 15. I'm going to throw this thing out to you. I had this thought. He mentioned the weather. Oh, it was cold.
Yeah, we talked
Didn't
about
matter.
that too.
But what about the humidity? And maybe if it's upper 70s and the Chiefs roll in, they're used to the really cold, and they got some big guys in the lines and they're sweating and there's the anxiety of a Super Bowl and the 45-minute halftime.
I don't think that's
I'm clinging on to the I'm trying to make something up here.
They're both tackles. I think they're going to miss the game. Definitely Eric Fisher, the left tackle.
Well,
right
Fisher's
tackle.
Out, and
it's been out for I believe a few weeks. If they're out,
the blind side,
we have a really good chance.
And
because
again,
it's in the trenches.
We'll get into this
At the end, it's
in greater detail, but you got to bracket somehow Mahomes. He's such a genius
If they
you know,
keep it
in
in
that
the
offense.
pocket, yeah, that's.
If
that's
he gets out, that's when he gives his guys time to readjust, and that's tough to cover for 4 or 5 seconds. But if you can pin him down, hit him a little bit, you know, and put 5 guys on Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, we talked about
But,
it. Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. You have to
Yeah.
slow them down a little bit. If Michael Hardman or Sammy Watkins ends up beating you, well, what you gonna do, right? You can't cover everybody.
Right. Okay. Well, that was wonderful. And this is the week before the week.
That was great. Time to decompress and prepare to ramp it up for the Super
It's
Bowl.
late. I mean, late night Madrid. I mean, it's, you know, it's almost buenas noches.
It's buenas noches and buena suerte.
Buena suerte.
So good luck.
Yes.
See you, Tom.
Okay.
And
we'll
we'll be
dial it
talking
up
next week.
One more. Okay.
One more to go.
Okay.
Super Bowl, baby.
You bet, baby. Looking
All
forward
right.
to it.
Go Bucs.